How you doing, Meredith?
Thank you.
Hi, Mercer.
All right, Meredith. If you could just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I was raised in Holly, Michigan until I was about 4 years old, and then my family moved to Lake Orion. I have one brother, his name's Connor. He just graduated from the Naval Academy and is now doing his own thing. And both my parents work at Scripps Middle School. And in Lake Orion, I went to Stadium Drive Elementary School of the Arts, and then I went to Scripps Middle School, where both of my parents were my teachers, which was kind of weird, but it was fun. And then, obviously, now I'm here at Lake Orion.
Christy Gervin Barrow, dial extension 6198.
Through coming into Lake Orion, I really wanted to be involved, so I tried to get involved in sports. So my freshman year, I was on the freshman basketball team, the freshman volleyball team, and JV tennis. I also played travel volleyball and travel soccer my whole life. And then my sophomore year, I just did travel volleyball and JV tennis. And then last year I did tennis, and then this year I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do for sports. I also currently work at Cruzmere Roadhouse in Lake Orion, and I've been working there for about 2.5 years. I also was a nanny this past summer. I also am involved in NHS, so I'm a member of that, and I'm also a member of DECA, which I'll be talking about later. And for 3 years in high school, I was the president of Cultural Outreach, where I led monthly meetings. I ran the Culture Night, which you probably have heard of at our school, and we really just were trying to get our motto of acceptance and respect across the school. I also am a current member in my youth group at church, which I'll also be talking about later. So here are some awards that I've received throughout high school. So here's my NHS, 2 awards regarding DECA, and then these are just all athletic awards. I also have received the Lamp of Learning Award since 8th grade, and on my SAT I got a 1220, but I also took the ACT, which got a 25, and I'm taking again this weekend actually. And then I got the athletic award, the letter for that. And then my extracurricular activities I want to talk about are my youth group. So I'm really involved at my church, and I've gone on many mission trips. This past spring break I went to Haiti for a week, which was an amazing experience. And I also went to Detroit for a week this past summer and 2 summers ago. And then my favorite mission trip that I've been on was to Cran Hill Ranch, which is in northern Michigan, and it's a special needs camp for adults. So I worked with them closely like 24 hours a day, which was a lot to do, but it was really fun. So there's just some pictures from that. And then in DECA, DECA is a club where you compete for business, different business aspects. So I've competed at the districts and states level. I've won districts 2 times, and I've competed at states 2 times. And I've gone to conferences throughout the years, and it's just been really fun. I've learned a lot how to be professional, and I worked on my communication skills a lot through that club. So here's some pictures of my friends and family, some sports, some of my favorite memories so far of senior year, and here are pictures from my involvement. So this is from Haiti, AP Bio Camp. I was a camp counselor this past summer at my church. Yeah, and here's my transcript. I currently have a 3.8542, and I've taken many AP classes. I've taken AP English for 2 years now, AP US History, AP Bio. I really want to be an OBGYN when I'm older, so I've taken a lot of science classes. I've taken honors chemistry, organic chemistry, AP Biology, like I said, biology. I currently have 201.5 service hours, and then I also turned in 50 plus from this past summer. So service is really important to me. It's really enjoyable, and that's a big part of my life. My EDP through this class has shown me that the top 10 choices have been regarding to medical and helping others, which through my mission trips, I've really realized that's what I want to do with my life. And for college, I've applied to Western, which I was admitted to, and Grand Valley, St. Mary's, U of M, and Alabama. So I'm not 100% sure on where I want to go yet, but I'm leaning towards Grand Valley. And I want to go into pre-med and then hopefully go to doctorate school after and become an OBGYN.
Awesome. All right, Meredith, could you tell us about a time you have demonstrated applied mathematics?
Yes. So I will need to do mathematics, and to become an OBGYN, when I have to take different measurements regarding the child and the mother during birth. So completely different measurements from oxygen levels to height, weight, etc. So I have had mathematics in honors advanced algebra, this quiz, and honors trigonometry.
Can you talk to us how you would apply the skill area of communication?
Yes. So I need to be a great communicator because I have to communicate with the mother, the family during this exciting time in their life. I also have to have great communication skills with other doctors, nurses, and that's very important. So I've done a PowerPoint and AP US History with another member of my class, so we had to communicate there. And I also did a speech last year in my leadership class for running for the e-board.
Meredith, can you share with us some information about how you have demonstrated collaboration?
Yes. So I have demonstrated collaboration on this project in Spanish too, where we created PowerPoint and we had to present to the class. I also have in my cultural outreach class, we ran a spirit week for diversity. So we worked together with our e-board and we created this spread to present to the school. So that was really important. And I'll have to collaborate in my job because with our other nurses, other doctors, we're gonna have to work together to have a smooth procedure.
And then Meredith, can you demonstrate how you have done like a job search for us? How you,
Number 7.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so through the job search, like I said, I currently work at LOHS, so I had to apply online, have an interview, receive the job. So here's a letter from my welcome aboard that they gave me when I got the job. I also, in our personal finance class, we had to make a resume, so here's the template that our teacher gave us to make our resume. And I'll obviously have to go through the job search process again to become an OBGYN. I'll have to go to interviews, do multiple applications, so.
can we just take a look at your resume real quick,
Yeah.
please? Good, thank you.
Okay, Meredith, now we're gonna ask you a few more questions.
All right.
What can you offer us that someone else cannot?
I think that my experience with helping others, it sets me apart from everyone else because, like I said, I went to Haiti, which was a really big part of my life. I made memories there and learned so much about myself there, and I think most people don't go to Haiti for a week for their spring break. So I think my service and my over 200 hours sets me apart from others.
Meredith, you've been involved in lots of things throughout high school, lots of clubs and activities, sports, you have a job. How have you been able to demonstrate how have you demonstrated your ability to handle all of those multiple priorities?
Well, that's definitely been a challenge because obviously being involved in so much takes up a lot of my time. So I really have had to work with my parents a lot. They've helped me like plan, okay, what's most important to me? What do I need to do? What can I get rid of if I'm getting overwhelmed? So really just planning my time has helped me balance it all.
Thank you.
All right, Meredith, and then what is your greatest strength and then what weakness do you have? What what is your greatest weakness?
I would say my greatest strength is really outgoing, not really afraid to try new things. Like to step out of my comfort zone. And my biggest weakness, I'd say, is that sometimes I have a lot on my plate, and so that can just become overwhelming. So like I said, I have to really try and balance that.
Okay, is there anything else you would like to share with us?
Yes, so I think that going to like Orion High School and all the experiences that I've had have really prepared me for the next step to become an OBGYN, help others, and go to college. So I think I'm ready for the next step.
I think this is gonna conclude the interview, and then we're gonna chat for a minute, so if you wanna exit out, and then we'll call you back in.
Okay.
Thanks, Meredith.
Thanks, Meredith.
Can you leave that here with us, Mary?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, it's pretty obviously she's prepared and knows what she wants to do and wants to be OBGYN and has pretty much checked the box for every single class and item you can think of. What's the nitpicky though? I guess you'd have to go down to like delivery, body language, eye contact, professional appearance.
She did a great job with
speaking.
eye contact,
Yeah,
because I know
she
she
did,
kept, she
yes.
looked at all of us,
She
and
did
I
all
felt very
three of us.
included in her presentation, so.
Yes, I did too. And she started off with whoever asked the question, she'd start with that person looking at
Yes.
them, but then she
Still
made sure
included
that she
everybody.
went down the
Absolutely.
row. So that was, that's very important. I thought her speaking was very clear.
Yeah,
Mhm.
body language was good.
Mhm.
It's not like she was all over the place. I mean, her posture was good. Professional appearance, she was dressed up.
She's very articulate, she's very well spoken.
Yes.
She's obviously very passionate about what she wants to do, not only for her career goal, but all of the extracurricular activities she's been involved in, and her service and all of those things, so.
I really liked her introduction too. I think she gave a very well-rounded introduction, and she took the time to make sure that we were aware of all of the things that she has participated in.
Yes.
That is something that I know that I've been in other interviews that students have struggled with. They haven't painted that picture, I think, big enough. I think she nailed that.
Yes.
She really made sure that she included, I felt like I, knew who she was from that
Absolutely.
introduction.
The only thing I think for nitpicky, she said maybe also like 10 times. That's the only thing I can like think of to try to use
The
different
nervous
words
fillers.
when you're transitioning from a thought to the next thought. I don't know. Other than that, I don't know what you really even mark her down for.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's out of 76.
I mean, even the question about her weakness, which I think, this is not nitpicky, but I think, we'll give her the feedback when, that's a typical question that's asked in an interview. But even she nailed that because she turned the weakness
She
and
flipped it,
described
yeah.
how she dealt with it.
Right.
Which
Absolutely.
is really important, so, no, I think she did an outstanding job. Should we bring her back in?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can relax.
Okay.
Congratulations. All right, you passed. We were just talking it over, and you nailed it. You did a great job. I think this is you're a great role model to Lake Orion High School students, and I don't know, everything that you did, leadership stuff, the sports you played, the NHS, DECA, the mission trips, like you are a very well-rounded student. So, and you're definitely ready to become an OBGYN. You know exactly where you want to go. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
And I would say, we were talking a little bit about your introduction, how you started off, and making sure that you included all of the things that you had done, all of the sports that you had played, all the clubs that you had been part of, your mission trip, showing us pictures, including your transcripts, what you got on your SAT. It really, I think, led us to really get to know who you are, and that's exactly what you want to do in an interview, because they obviously won't be probably know who you are. So your introduction was very, very strong, and I felt that you took the time to make sure that you pointed out all of those things that really ultimately make you stand out. And those are things, especially your mission trip and how you said that that would apply to your service, basically to others, especially being an OBGYN. Those are things that are really, really important. So you really nailed your introduction. The other thing that we had commented on is very often in an interview, you'll get asked the question, tell us about your strengths and what is one of your weaknesses. And it's always important, obviously, to come up with a weakness and be honest about it. But what you did and what you need to do in an interview is make sure that you turn that weakness back into a strength or tell about how you deal with that weakness, which is exactly what you did. You know, you said sometimes you take on too much, but you recognize when you do that, and then you step back and you say, okay, now I'm gonna prioritize, which again is exactly what you wanna do in an interview. You wanna be honest about your weakness, but you wanna tell about, how you deal with that weakness. So you have done many, many great things. So
Thank you.
congratulations to you. And honestly, I've sat in on quite a few of these, and you're one of the top students that I've seen
Thank
in
you
an exit
very
interview.
much.
Just a few things to follow up with. You're very articulate, you're very well spoken. Something else we discussed was you did a great job of, if I asked you a question, you looked at me, but you also made sure to include everybody else in your answers and make eye contact with them. So you made us all throughout your entire presentation feel very included and that you were speaking to us equally. So you did a great job with that. And you're very passionate about what you want to do and all of your mission trips and your service, and that's great to see from someone. So you did a great job, Meredith.
Thank you.
So we talked about all this great stuff, and it was really hard to come up with something that was like nitpicky. The only thing we come up with was you said also a couple times, like maybe 5 or 10 times. So you want to either pause or transition in with a different word. But I think you need to hear the nitpicky,
Yeah.
because you nailed the interview. There's no doubt about it. But moving forward, next interview, like you always want to learn from your experiences. So, but congratulations overall.
Thank you very much.
All right, Meredith, the final step is to sign this for us down at the bottom. So if you do that, please.
And thank you for coming in early this morning on top
No
of it.
problem.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Best of luck.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Enjoy your day.
You too.
Thanks.
Do I take this with me?
We'll take it. We'll give this with our rubrics to Mrs.
Okay,
Jones.
thank you.
Thank you.